The middle-length discourses of the Buddha. 49. The Brahma Invitation. Brahma Nimantanika Sutta. Translated from the Pali by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. I have heard that on one occasion the Blessed One was staying near Savathai in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. There he addressed the monks. Monks. Yes, Lord, the monks responded. The Blessed One said, on one occasion recently I was staying in Ukatha in the Subhaga forest at the root of a royal sala tree. Now on that occasion an evil viewpoint had arisen to Bhakka Brahma. This is constant. This is permanent. This is eternal. This is total. This is not subject to falling away, for this does not take birth, does not age, does not die, does not fall away, does not reappear. And there is no other, higher escape. So I, having known with my awareness the train of thought in Bhakka Brahma's awareness, as a strong man would extend his flexed arm or flex his extended arm, vanished into the root of the royal sala tree in the Subhaga forest in Ukatha and appeared in that Brahma world. Bhakka Brahma saw me coming in the distance and, on seeing me, said, Come, good sir. You are well come, good sir. It has been long, good sir, since you arranged to come here, for this, good sir, is constant. This is permanent. This is eternal. This is total. This is not subject to falling away, for here one does not take birth, does not age, does not die, does not fall away, does not reappear. And there is no other, higher escape. When this was said, I told Bhakka Brahma, how immersed in ignorance is Bhakka Brahma. How immersed in ignorance is Bhakka Brahma, in that what is actually inconstant he calls constant. What is actually impermanent he calls permanent. What is actually non-eternal he calls eternal. What is actually partial he calls total. What is actually subject to falling away he calls not subject to falling away. Where one takes birth, ages, dies, falls away, and reappears, he says, for here one does not take birth, does not age, does not die, does not fall away, does not reappear. And there being another, higher escape, he says, there is no other, higher escape. Then Mara, the evil one, taking possession of an attendant of the Brahma assembly, said to me, Monk! Monk! Don't attack him! Don't attack him! For this Brahma, monk, is the great Brahma, the conqueror, the unconquered, the all-seeing, all-powerful, the sovereign Lord, the maker, creator, chief, appointer, and ruler, father of all that have been and shall be. There were, monk, before your time, Brahmins and contemplatives in the world, who found fault with earth and were disgusted with earth, who found fault with liquid and were disgusted with liquid, who found fault with fire and were disgusted with fire, who found fault with wind and were disgusted with wind, who found fault with beings and were disgusted with beings, who found fault with devas and were disgusted with devas, who found fault with Pajapati, and were disgusted with Pajapati, who found fault with Brahma and were disgusted with Brahma. They, with the break-up of the body, with the cutting off of life, were established in a coarse body. There were, monk, before your time, Brahmins and contemplatives in the world, who praised earth and were delighted with earth, who praised liquid and were delighted with liquid, who praised fire and were delighted with fire, who praised wind and were delighted with wind, who praised beings and were delighted with beings, who praised devas and were delighted with devas, who praised Pajapati and were delighted with Pajapati, who praised Brahma and were delighted with Brahma. They, with the break-up of the body, with the cutting off of life, were established in a refined body. So I tell you, monk, please, good sir, do only as Brahma says. Don't defy the word of Brahma. If you defy the word of Brahma, then, As a man, when the goddess of fortune approaches, chases her away with a stick, or as a man, falling into hell, loses hold of the earth with his hands and feet, that will be what you have accomplished. Please, good sir, do only as Brahma says. Don't defy the word of Brahma. Don't you see that Brahma's assembly has gathered? And so Mara the evil one directed my attention to Brahma's assembly. When this was said, I told Mara the evil one, I know you, evil one. Don't assume, he doesn't know me. You are Mara, evil one. And Brahma's assembly, and the attendants of Brahma's assembly have all fallen into your hands. They have all fallen into your power. And you think, this one, too, has come into my hands, has come under my control. But, evil one, I have neither come into your hands nor have I come under your control. When this was said, Baka Brahma told me, but, good sir, what is actually constant I call constant. What is actually permanent I call permanent. What is actually eternal I call eternal. What is actually total I call total. What is actually not subject to falling away I call not subject to falling away. Where one does not take birth, age, die, fall away, or reappear, I say, for this does not take birth, does not age, does not die, does not fall away, does not reappear. And there being no other, higher escape, I say, there is no other, higher escape. There were, monk, before your time, Brahmins and contemplatives in the world whose ascetic practice lasted as long as your entire lifespan. They knew, when there was another, higher escape, that there was another, higher escape, or, when there was no other, higher escape, that there was no other, higher escape. So I tell you, monk, both that you will not find another, higher escape, and that, to that extent, you will reap your share of trouble and weariness. Monk, if you relish earth, you will lie close to me, lie within my domain, for me to banish and to do with as I like. If you relish liquid, fire, wind, beings, devas, Pujapati, Brahma, you will lie close to me, lie within my domain, for me to banish and to do with as I like. I, too, know that, Brahma. If I relish earth, I will lie close to you, lie within your domain, for you to banish and to do with as you like. If I relish liquid, fire, wind, beings, devas, Pujapati, Brahma, I will lie close to you, lie within your domain, for you to banish and to do with as you like. Moreover, I discern your sphere, I discern your splendor. Baka Brahma has this much great power. Baka Brahma has this much great might. Baka Brahma has this much great influence. Well, monk, how do you discern my sphere, how do you discern my splendor? Baka Brahma has this much great power. Baka Brahma has this much great might. Baka Brahma has this much great influence? As far as suns and moons revolve, shining, illuminating the directions. Over 1,000-fold world your control holds sway. There you know those above and below, those with lust and those without, the state of what is as it is, the state of what becomes otherwise, the coming and going of beings.